Hi. So last time we left off on the college experience and what to expect in college. But today I'm going to answer you some basic questions on when you get to college and the type of work to expect. Now, when you're in college, you are expected to be thinking at a higher level. You're no longer in high school. So forget the notions, forget the ideas that you had in high school for a second because they do not apply anymore. Now it's more college is more of uh, a free place to think. Of course you're paying for it, so it's not that free. But like the thing is that when you're in college, you have to think just a little bit more above the level you usually think. you know Cohesive sentences for one are a big thing. You No matter what you're doing, no matter what you're going for, say you're going for a degree in business or a degree in cinematography or etc. There's actually some um you are expected you are expected to write. So writing is a huge chunk of what you will be doing in college. Also, reading, writing and reading are big. Now, the reading portion though, there's tricks of the trade that you can get from when you're reading. Eventually, people when they start, okay, let me first say, when people start in college, the first thing they do is that they read the entire the entire 19-20 pages you got to read in 2 days, and that's like not going to happen. I personally don't read everything. What I do is I've trained myself to read only the important parts of the book. So pretty much skip some of the junk because what happens is that you will not remember all the numbers, everything that was said on that book page, nothing. I think the best you can come up with is that uh you take what you get. In other words, read the book, be like, okay, this is a book, and this chapter talks about something, right? The content of the chapter is really what's important. You should take that content and apply it and then build on it. So like for instance, say you're doing a paper on American history. That's a big subject. But like if you say, okay, the paper American history in this chapter talks about the 18th century. In the 18th century, you're like, okay, what happened in the 18th century? Major events, right? Boom, out of the way, right? Also terminology. Terminology is important. So like anywhere when you find terms, like where there are big terms and the book says these are bolded terms, and the teacher demands you to learn those terms, I would suggest you learn those terms. Like in terms of just getting the definition down, putting it in a Microsoft Word document, and putting like chapter one. Like these are all the definitions I learned, and this is it. In math, same thing, but math is not terminology. It's well, terminology still applies to math, but more like the equation part of it. Like in math, equations are very like you work off you work off things you already know of. Like math, that's the way it works. Math is PEMDAS. If you ever heard of PEMDAS, is parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So like you work off that, and you work what you already know. You will work on history, same thing. Writing, same thing. Like you already working on what you already built as a base in high school. So from there, you're just transferring over to college, and it's gonna be expanded on. Um, when when you're doing your homework, because this is the purpose of this video is to introduce you to ideas and ways to go about your homework, because it's not a lot. When you go to college, it looks like a lot, it feels like a lot because you're not used to it. You have to acclimate yourself. You have to, and for those who don't know what acclimate is, it's pretty much you have to get used to it. Like you have to allow yourself to absorb all the information that's coming in, and it's a lot. But don't get scared. Just relax, chill out, right? When you receive all this information, the first thing you should do is write it down. Get yourself a planner. It helps a lot. A planner helps you keep all your ideas together, and not just the ideas, but what you have to do ahead. What, okay, like for instance, this day I have to turn in this, and this day I have to turn in this. It's a good skill to start learning, because that can already carry itself to a potential job you will have in the future. Because I mean, even in a job, you still have many tasks ahead of you. So you want to just keep track of all the tasks you have to do, everything that's ahead of you. And like in college, it's a great way to start learning some of the some of those skills that you'll probably carry on towards your job, right? Keeping a planner is a good one. Also, how much time you need to give to your homework. This is a big thing. Most, if many college students have the problem of how much time they have or they want to give towards their homework. Many of them do give some time, but what happens is, it always happens, the procrastination, and then papers that are due like 2 or 3 days from then, and they don't haven't even started on the paper. So they're like, oh my god, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to do all this research, and I'm supposed to, like, write this 10-page paper or 5-page paper or etc. What kind of page paper? But it's due like really soon. So what they do is that they just cram everything, and like I've done it too. So like you're bound to do it. You're bound to just cram at one point. But the best way to avoid that is that I found is that with the plan, and this works with the planner. With the planner, get your planner and put down the dates that all your assignments are due. Right. Well, mostly what I would be concerned about would be writing assignments, exams, and finals and final papers. Those four things are important because there's probably gonna be more than just one writing assignment. There's probably gonna be several. There's probably gonna be more than one exam. There's gonna be several exams. Final exam and final papers are really, really, really important to know what dates they're due, because if you know them and if you know the subject of what you're supposed to write, given 2 months or 1 month ahead, you can already work on that thing. And I guarantee you can be done in 2 weeks' time with the whole paper. You can get an easy A on whatever paper if you know it a month ahead and you just take 2 weeks. Now, 2 weeks is a lot of time to write one paper, but remember, most college students that come into college, they take 4 to 5 classes, right? So you have to be prepared for the amount of workload when it comes to papers, when it comes to homework. I would suggest you dedicate 1 to 2 hours of your time each day to do some of the homework you already have to do, because you'll see the difference. You Once you do, say for instance, dedicate yourself 2 hours, right? And you got like, they're not even due yet. Like, we're a month or a month and a half away from being done on the paper. So what do? You get on your computer and be like, you know what? I'm just gonna write 4 sentences down, 3 or 4 sentences of the subject that I'm supposed to be writing. Right? You start writing it, and you're already ahead of everybody by 4 sentences. Those 4 sentences are gonna get you far, right? Every word counts when you're writing a paper. Every word. When you're studying, study ahead. Study, right? Always be prepared. Be the first one. Always try to be the first one. And it comes with the drive. You gotta have the drive for it. But it's not just the drive, but it's also like the accepting of the responsibility, because no one's going to tell you, no one's going to tell you or be holding your hand and telling you, hey, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, and you gotta do that, and you gotta do, no, it's all you. So you have to have the drive to push yourself to be able to accomplish these tasks, and it's up to you. So to me, for me, I tell you, best of luck. They and like dedicate yourself 1 or 2 hours a day to your homework. Planners, very important. Reading, reading only take what's really important. Like, get the important stuff out of the juice, the actual content, and take it out of there. Terminology is super important. Write down the definitions if you can. And studying for your finals, studying for any text, test or quiz, like super important as well. So like, good luck to you.